Well, Gauteng Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi wants safety measures to be put in place before schools reopen in the province. Yesterday, he gave an update on the province's state of readiness. Let's chat to him now via Skype this morning. MEC, good morning, and thanks so much for your time. You must be one of the busiest people at this time now. So you've mentioned the prep that is underway. How confident are you that all of this will be ready by the 1st of June?
I think the appropriate word would be cautious. We are very cautious because we really want to accommodate everyone. We don't want to take a route where we can just say everyone must come back. We say, yeah, options, choose the options that will suit your child. If you need your child to be in class, these are the processes that we've put in place. If you want your child to do homeschooling, these are the processes that we put in place. If you want your child to go for a school with special needs purely because either of disability and other underlying diseases of your child, will set out the same process for you. And if you want your child to remain at home and continue to study online or using e-learning systems, we'll also give you support for that. So that's the approach that we've taken as Gauteng, so that we can accommodate everyone. And we want to discourage people that feel that their children should lose an academic year because of the virus, because we don't know how long the virus will be with us. But we say if we put different options, at least the parent can choose the options that will best suit their child.
So with regard to unions, and we know they've been very vocal over the past week, also having conducted their own survey, teacher unions I'm talking about, saying that they've identified two provinces, the Western Cape and the Gauteng, that's us, which they say are most ready, but still there are shortfalls. Now, what will you do if unions don't come to the party, MEC?
That is why our readiness report is not a departmental readiness report. It must be a Gauteng report. Gauteng meaning inclusive of parents, inclusive of educators, inclusive of learners, and also inclusive of NGOs that are operating within the schooling space. Later today, I'm meeting with various NGOs, Section 27, Equal Education. I'm also meeting with learner formations so that they can give input. And we are making our plan public so that parents also can make an input to satisfy themselves that the plan we have in Gauteng, does it meet their expectations? And we've also added something that was not there originally, which is the day before schools reopen, we'll have an open day, which means parents can come to all our schools and check our readiness before they bring their children, so that they satisfy themselves that everything. So we are very cautious. We really want all of us to walk this road together because we've never been here before. Yeah. So anyone who claims to have the know-how and the know-all of this process, I don't think that person will be honest.
What will you do, though, if teachers don't turn up for that first day?
We have put a contingency plan at two levels. One, at the level of what we call substitute teachers, that is teachers that can be standby to assist. But secondly, we've also put some substitute teachers for those teachers that are having underlying sickness that they might feel that they're not ready. But if teachers take a general view that they don't want to come to work on that particular day, we'll continue to persuade them and find a common ground. But the product that we have as Gauteng is a joint product with our teacher union. We had discussions with them, we presented to them, they gave us their views, we incorporated those particular views. But an underlying view that we all agree is that it's safety first, which simply means we must have PPEs first before we can allow any sector of our education to come back, which simply means principal must come first when the PPEs are available for senior managers of the school, and senior managers must come when we have PPEs for learners and for teachers, and then teachers will come when we have PPEs for learners. So we'll just put just-in-on-time approach, which means we don't allow PPEs to be permanently stored in our schools because people can break in and remove them. So
and that is my next question to you, MEC, because we had those cases of vandalism at the start of the lockdown. You had several schools that were torched as well. So how are you going to make sure? I mean, PPEs are things that, that will be targeted. They will be the things that people will break into to get their hands on. So how are you going to make sure that that you're going to keep those safe? And also about those schools that were vandalized, where are you with those? Will those be ready to reopen?
Unfortunately, we learn painfully so from those experiences, and that is why we are saying we're delivering on time. We're not just having a huge load that can be exposed to criminals. And thus far, we've succeeded because we've given all our principals PPEs. Now all our principals have their own PPEs. I think we're doing the last delivery in one part of our district today so that all our senior managers can have their PPE. So we're just using an on-time thing. But all the schools that we've vandalized, we have to start with the repairs. And we've already done that. The procurement processes are underway. But areas where the admin block we vandalized, we've already delivered the mobile classroom so that they can utilize the mobile classroom until we reach a level where construction is allowed in our country, and then we can allow construction to begin.
All right, and then what would you say to parents, MEC? I'm one of those. I'm answering surveys and questionnaires. The school wants to know. They are a smaller school, so the smaller kids are also going to go back if they do reopen. It's going to be all grades because they are classes of 10 or so. But what would you say to parents who are filling in those things if they have two minds, even at this point? It's just over a week to go. What would be your advice to them this morning if they have to answer questions like, would you send your child to school, if we do reopen?
Safety first. Safety first. Satisfy yourself whether the school is safe, whether the arrangements that are there are enough and adequate, and that everyone will be safe. I mean, my child is in grade 12 myself, and is in a public school. And every time I look at it, I ask myself, did we make the proper arrangements to ensure that it's safe? And I'm more than satisfied, but I'm cautious as well because before I'm an MEC, I'm a parent as well, and I must account to my child as well. And she's now in midship, but she's too excited. She's looking forward going to school because she's been at home for quite some time. So we need to balance the two, and the only thing that can assist us to balance the two is safety. So we have to ensure that we're all safe.
Now, we have the experts like Professor Salim Abdul Karim who say, and then they warn that there will be small outbreaks when schools reopen. Is there a plan for that? Have you already prepared for that?
We have. We've linked every school to a clinic, for example. We've also acquired the services of general practitioners, people that are called GPs. But before they go to their surgeries, they must start at our schools. We are at an advanced stage of getting lots of them. We've just shown interest now. So that they check everything. We have also allocated what we call isolation rooms. So every child or every teacher or every staff member, if identified or we suspect or their temperature is high, would immediately take them to the isolation room. And from the isolation room, the Department of Health will take over. So we really believe that we've set our ducks in a row. But a plan like this can be messed up by one thing. And that is why at all times we must be cautious, and at all times we must not be overconfident.
What is the deadline? By when should all schools have those safety measures that you speak about in place?
The 29th of June. The 29th of May, sorry. The 29th of May, we should have all these systems, or else we will not be scared in Gauteng if we really believe we are not ready to say, let's hold on. Instead of the first, let's try the third, or let's try another day. We will not be scared or not embarrassed, because in everything that we are doing, we really want everything to be safe.
All right. And in terms of making up for the lost time, are there plans for that? Have you given instruction to schools for those who, I mean, not everybody's been able to have Zoom classes at home and get worksheets done at home. So is there a plan as well for that?
Our assumption is that we are starting at the bottom. Even if we had a Zoom session or we had online learning, we're starting at the bottom because we don't want to leave any child behind. And we've put extra measures. There will be the dates or the hours of the school will be extended. We're foregoing free periods, and then we might even add some of the weekends for that purpose. And there is a new school calendar that the minister is going to gather. You'll see from the school calendar that some of the holiday days we might extend the academic year as far as December so that we can accommodate lost time. But our assumption is that we are moving from the bottom. Everyone must be at the same path before we can go up.
All right, well, thanks very much there, Panyaza Lesufi, Gauteng Education MEC. I wish us all the luck, I suppose. We all need it. Teachers, parents, department officials, pupils, everyone.